Hello and welcome to the webinar, The Next Generation of Supply Chain Solutions, part of TAKE's webinar series, Optimizing Supply Chains in a Global and Mobile Economy. My name is Donna Fritz and I'm the Director of Product Marketing for TAKE Supply Chain. Joining us on the presentation today is TAKE Senior Solutions Consultant, David Riffel. Before we get started, I'd like to take a few moments to cover some housekeeping items, which you can see on the next screen. All the attendees will be on mute. You can submit any questions through the Q&A panel on the right bar of your screen, or you can email questions to contact@takesolutions.com. If you have any technical difficulties during the presentation, you can contact WebEx customer support at 1-866-229-3239. Select option 1. This session will be recorded and an on-demand version will be made available by next week. For more information, please chat with the host. Thank you for joining this broadcast today, which will last approximately 35 minutes. Today, David will be discussing some supply chain research findings. He'll be showing the next generation of supply chain solutions and highlighting how TAKE can help you realize your 2013 supply chain optimization plans. At the conclusion of the presentation, David will be available to respond to any questions that you may have. We'll answer questions in the order received, and we'll stay on the line for approximately 10 minutes after the end of the presentation. At this point, I'll turn the presentation over to David. Welcome, David. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Donna, and thanks everyone for attending the webinar today. We really do appreciate you allocating time in your busy schedules to spend it with us. We've kept the duration relatively short to minimize the impact on your schedules, and we hope that you will find the content interesting. Maybe it'll spark some creative ideas or motivate you to take some next steps to further improve your supply chains. Regarding the supply chain research that we've done, we reviewed studies from various analyst houses and also commissioned some proprietary research of our own. And we asked some 200 companies questions ranging from what are your core challenges to ranking the challenges in the order of impact. And our findings will be shared in the next slides. So this slide will go into primarily the 5 key learnings that we had from this research. I think before going into that, it may be useful to reflect for a moment on the context of what most companies involved in manufacturing or distribution have faced for the past decade or so and are still facing. As all of you know, being primarily in the supply chain industry here, manufacturing, distribution, there's been so much globalization. It's been widely publicized, but it's driven increased competition. Advances that we have in communications, transportation, other technologies have allowed companies to compete on a much broader global basis across broader geographic boundaries. So it drives up competition among these global players. So we all feel the pinch. Our profit margins are being squeezed. It puts increased pressure on companies to be more productive with their assets, operate more efficiently, increases the need for companies to better control their entire end-to-end supply chain. All the functions need to cut out the fat. Lean principles, lean concepts have become in vogue. It's increased companies' use of other business partners throughout their supply chain. So it's quite common for companies to use contract manufacturers, design manufacturers, logistics service partners, et cetera, throughout their supply chain. A lot of these partners are local, but many of them are geographically dispersed, sometimes really far away. Common locations these days, China, Taiwan, Asia-based companies, Mexico. In addition, there's been a lot of merger and acquisition activities, companies trying to gain efficiencies, competitive advantages through mergers, increased management turnover, business model turnover. Outsourcing was the great new idea. There's a lot of thrash in that space the last 10 or 15 years now. We're hearing about insourcing. The bottom line is, the result of all of this activity, increased competition, profit margin pressure, mergers, partners, et cetera, is we have very complex operating models out there, very complex supply chains, some with multi-system environments. And for us as supply chain professionals, it can be really challenging to stay on top of those very complicated supply chains while still keeping some semblance of sanity and generating the business results that are desired. So, you know, you guys are aware of a lot of that, but that's the context. So the research findings and the outcomes that we have and the major learnings are kind of coming from companies in the supply chain industry, manufacturing, distribution that are living this world. Let me go on to the learnings here. So 5 of the key learnings. Number 1 is that companies struggle with the same set of basic challenges year over year. I'll pause just a little bit every now and then. I'm not sure how fast these slides are painting. But some of the common challenges that folks struggle with year over year: decreasing cost, improving efficiencies, getting greater visibility and control of our information and our material flows, collaborating better within our trading networks and our partners. Again, a lot of it's driven by the increased use of partners, complexity, etc. Number 2, the integration of internal and external data is growing in importance. So there's business intelligence, there's other analytics tools, decision-making tools that folks are using to get a handle more on these complex supply chains. We do have to be able to combine the data from internal and external sources and partners to make this work effectively. So the real goal of folks, the challenge, is trying to eliminate the walls between the data, internal, external, and allow it to be shared faster and more efficiently with all partners. Number 3, emerging technology is creating noise around the different solutions. So, what is the best solution out there? There's one-size-fits-all large solutions, big players. There's best-of-breed point solutions. Should it be cloud, on-premise? Do I need to rip out and replace what I've got with this cool new thing? Can I integrate parts of the new solution into my existing solutions? There's a lot of new technology, there's a lot of noise and a lot of open questions out there around what are the best approaches to be more efficient and save money going forward. Number 4, solutions that drive better decisions are dependent on better data, insights, and accelerated access to that data. So as we all know, enterprise data isn't always reliable, even though it may be coming from our own internal systems. Trading network data isn't always accessible or complete or usable. It's hard to get. Decision making is slower than we'd like it to be. It's handicapped. Kind of back to point 2, this integration of internal and external data is key. And if we don't have that, it's hard to make fast decisions. The whole garbage in, garbage out, getting quality data in, it's a complete picture of what we're dealing with to make rapid, accurate decisions. Number 5, the needs of folks go beyond standalone solutions, more to network-style implementations. So as folks are trying to manage the complexity that's out there, the needs are quickly outgrowing the lack of integration between the inside and outside the 4 walls types of solutions. So there's still a gap that exists between data used to make decisions inside the 4 walls and outside the 4 walls. So current solutions that are out there do deliver part of the equation. There are some somewhat siloed solutions that are currently available either inside or outside the 4 walls to do visibility of that data and handle various other functions. A major challenge is the complexity and the cost to integrate the data. Even just integrating internal systems inside our own 4 walls. I imagine most of the folks on the line, especially if you've spent some time in a mid-size or a large-size company working in the supply chain, you've had some kind of personal involvement with a very large internal systems-related project that seemed to involve a lot of people. Sometimes you think too many people, too much time, very complex, and it leads you to wonder, are we ever going to get a positive ROI out of this? It's very complicated and complex to do some of these data integrations even inside our own four walls. On top of that, outside the four walls, trying to also integrate data, communicate, collaborate with multiple partners, external systems, is very challenging. A lot of these challenges, to integrate internal or external, come from some of the inflexibility we have in our existing legacy systems or some of our large mainstream systems. It can definitely be challenging to make this happen. The rest of the equation, what we need more of going forward is kind of breaking through that wall of internal and external systems and data, breaking through the silo, make it more available. Improve data reliability and sharing, so make it easier to access and share that data. Integrate collaboration and execution tools, so more planning-focused tools that are more collaborative in nature with our actual operations execution tools. And finally, make it more flexible. So whether it's solutions that can be, used subscription basis via the cloud or on-premise, solutions need to be easily configurable to adapt to changes, enabled for mobility, so you're able to communicate, share, complete transactions easily across different mobile devices, operating systems, etc. So supply chain operations are transitioning more towards what we call intelligent networks. And these next generation solutions need to provide this integration of internal and external partner functions and data to create supply chain solutions that span the whole plan, source, make, deliver spectrum of our supply chains. So on the upper left here, these are more what I would term maybe supplier collaboration focused functions, doing planning, sharing your demand or your planned orders with your supply base, providing requests for quotes, getting back sales quotes, placing orders, purchase orders, managing those, the fulfillment of those, the acknowledgement of those from your suppliers, tracking the shipments. More on the right side, I would term these more, materials handling or operations types of functions. Once you've got your material that you've collaborated to receive and worked with suppliers to receive, you've got to actually receive it, scan it, label it, use it, manage that inventory, control it, manufacture your products, pick, pack, ship, label, all that good stuff that we've got to do to it. And these collaboration functions and tools and these data collection functions, as it says in the middle there, they really need to overlap and complement each other well to get the desired business results end to end. So for this next generation solution to work, some of the key attributes, you've got to really have seamless integration of that data inside and outside your four walls with your partners, so you can have faster, more accurate data flow down to the operational level. Better responsiveness as there's shifts in demand, supply, production. A lot of that real-time visibility to the data, helps enable some of that responsiveness. Need to have greater traceability of transactions, whether it's information flow going end to end or the physical material flows end to end, and things such as more, pulse methodology or event-driven tasks and transactions to eliminate the latency or delays in sharing information and errors. No more kind of blind, let's push information or let's push material this way. It's more of a pull or event-driven process. And as you can imagine, when the whole end-to-end system works really well together, you've got your collaboration functions, your operation functions working well together, you get the result that we all love in the supply chain world, and that's a happy customer. You've got an accurate delivery, it's on time, as expected. There's no surprises that weren't already previously communicated to the customer, so things work well in that sense. So as you look ahead to next generation types of solutions, one of the questions, is why Take Solutions? What is it about Take that positions us to address this space? And one of the things is, we believe that we already offer a lot of this next generation of supply chain solutions, and we believe that our company is uniquely positioned to meet some of these needs. So we have a solution that we've branded One SCM that you can see here on the upper left. It's very focused on that collaboration space, supplier collaboration, B2B communications, very focused on that. It's been around for over 14 years. It's continued to evolve, various mergers, partnerships, et cetera. We've expanded and improved that solution over the years, but we do have this One SCM solution focused in the collaboration space. We also have a solution that we call Gemini series. Gemini is more focused on data collection, printing, enterprise mobility, barcode scanning, labeling, et cetera. It's also been around a long time. It was really the heritage of our company 18 years ago when we started, all around data collection and this Gemini capability. Together with the One SCM and the Gemini, the collaboration, the data collection, printing, it does provide the end-to-end management of your internal and external partner functions. It does actually span the whole plan, order, make, deliver spectrum for greater visibility and control. It integrates your internal and external functions at the more detailed level of operations and helps companies get faster data flow to respond to changes in demand and production, faster decisions, et cetera. And a lot of what it does, I'll describe it more in the next slides, but it really enables process automation by helping you, run mainstream processes that are working well straight through, but managing more by exception and only spending time or manual effort where you have exceptions that need someone's attention. So how do these solutions do this? One SCM, Gemini, how do they make some of this happen and fit the bill for some of this next generation supply chain solution? So a little bit closer look into each one. When you look at the One SCM solution, in the upper left there at the enterprise level, it integrates with your key enterprise and functional systems. So whether it's your ERP, your MRP, warehouse system, transportation system, et cetera, it integrates well with those. And as the box says, kind of any systems, multiple different systems, we refer to it more as being ERP agnostic. So if you're running a large mainstream solution like, say, Oracle or SAP or a legacy solution of your own or any other systems, the One SCM platform is built to be able to integrate well with those systems and solutions and provide that real-time, tight integration. The lower part of the slide on the lower left, from a trading partner perspective, it also can integrate well with your external partner regardless of the technology. So there at the bottom of the slide, from a B2B perspective, if you're communicating with EDI or if it's XML-based, EDIFACT-based, spreadsheet, you name it, it's built to be very flexible to integrate that information into the One SCM platform, also via the web portals, web forms. The way that One SCM is able to do this, there's really three key things. It's built on a powerful enterprise application integration layer, or EAI layer. That's kind of a fancy way just to say it enables very flexible integration across a lot of different systems. It also has a full suite of functional modules for collaboration. You can see some of those there in the middle. These modules can be deployed individually or as a comprehensive solution set. That there's modules ranging from the planning, demand collaboration, sharing demand information, getting commitments back from suppliers, the procure to pay functions, PO acknowledgement, quality functions, AP automation or e-invoicing, visibility control, supplier management. It has a full suite of functions. And the third key area of the architecture is it has a proprietary workflow and business process management engine that is very simple to use, but it's very powerful, and it's GUI-based, kind of a graphical user interface. You can drag and drop icons and attach attributes to those icons and configure it to align the system solution that you're configuring with your desired business processes, and you're not forced to change your desired business processes to align to a rigid or inflexible system solution. So these things make the platform very powerful. Note that OneSCM, it's not a replacement to your existing systems. Generally, it's not a replacement to your ERP. It's intended to leverage your existing systems and your assets so you can implement it quickly, get you a faster ROI, link into those existing systems and start sharing that information and acting on it much faster. From a benefit perspective, some of the key benefits of OneSCM, the first, getting more spend under management. So the capability and flexibility it has to integrate with a wide variety of suppliers or trading partners with different levels of technical capabilities, EDI, spreadsheet, web form. It enables you to really get all of your supply base, online and under management to help you manage all of that spend. It's mobile platform enabled. You can receive alerts. You can conduct transactions on multiple mobile devices and operating systems. So, like your iPhone, for example, purchase order approvals. If you've ever been involved in the past, some person has to approve a PO over a certain amount to keep the process moving forward. You don't need to be sitting at your desk or in your office. The platform allows you to send alerts and conduct transactions and do approvals over mobile devices like your iPhone. Also, you can have accelerated data flow, faster decisions. Again, that proprietary workflow engine that I talked about previously, it does enable you to really automate those core process flows. And if things are running smoothly, let them just flow through the network and just manage by exception. You can set your workflows and your alerts to say if condition ABC happens, I want to notify these people or route it this way. It's very powerful, and it really does speed up the data flow and the decisions. And also the single management console, or the ability, again, for the system integration to allow, even if you have very complex system structures, multiple ERPs, other systems, multiple partners communicating in different ways with different systems, you can bring all these into a common view on the OneSCM platform, have common process run paths, common workflows, common dashboards, metrics. You can apply all of those to these internal and external source data. So those are a lot of the benefits that come with this platform. The other product line that we have that's more the data collection focused, mobile data collection focused, Gemini series. So in the upper left of this slide, again, at the enterprise layer, the slide says you can integrate with any system, again, enterprise, and other functional systems, your ERP, MRP, et cetera. The transactions range from receiving, inventory, manufacturing, et cetera. It's soon going to be ERP agnostic and have this great flexibility that's described here. Some of our existing customers that use Gemini today know that our heritage Gemini product, it's been very closely tied to Oracle. So it works great with Oracle. It's integrated well with Oracle, standard APIs, et cetera. But we have a new Take Mobility framework that we're just completing and in the process of releasing, and it will enable this ERP agnostic, operating system agnostic data collection, mobile device integration, similar to what the OneSCM platform has. We think it's really, really cool. We're excited about it. Can't wait to get it out in the market. So it'll really expand the ability of Gemini to do more with different systems. At the operations level there on the bottom, again, these are data collection transactions. There's a full suite of transactions that can be deployed individually or as a solution set. There's hundreds of existing transactions for Oracle. We're building libraries of transactions for other systems too. A lot of these transactions are single activity. Some of them are combination transactions. You could do one transaction on your scanner and it'll accomplish 2 or 3 steps in your ERP or your system. It's very configurable. The prompts, the labels, the transactions are easily configured, and they're all in, as it says on the bottom of the slide, the space of receiving types of transactions, inventory, manufacturing, shipping, et cetera. The scanning capabilities we have support online and offline batch modes. So offline meaning if you're outside of wireless coverage, you can conduct some activities on those scanners, and then when you get back into wireless range, it'll sync back up with your systems. Also, it's mobility enabled. That's the key thing. These are mobile data collection. You can extend out your, the power, the capabilities you have in your ERP out to your receiving dock or your warehouse or your shop floor. So you're not doing, manual data entry into forms on the shop floor, but you're scanning in barcodes and you're doing quick, less prone to human error types of activities mobilely. And there in the middle of the slide, it talks about, some of the common capabilities and such. One of them, that's pretty cool that's built in there in addition to the data collection is that rules-based barcode label printing solution. It is pre-integrated with the data collection solution. We call it Compliance Label Manager, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in managing the formats of your different labels or barcodes and how you share those, and different workflow rules as to what type of shipments or transactions need what type of label. And it helps you easily share that with your suppliers so they can print the labels that you want conforming to your standards at their dock before they ship to your receiving area. Some of the key benefits of Gemini, I've kind of talked about some of these as I've rambled on here, but again, the whole mobile data collection and workflow across the enterprise, automation of transactions, less manual input, error reduction. It has this web-based compliance labeling that I was describing. You can share your data formats with your suppliers via the web. When they're ready to ship, they can print those web labels or barcode labels, and you can be assured that they meet your specs. Makes it a lot easier when it comes into your receiving area, more automated, more efficient. We have something that we call control point tracking. Your suppliers, as part of this label printing, it kind of combines several of our capabilities, but your suppliers can print these compliant package tracking number labels. Each package tracking number becomes a control point. It's integrated into your ERP. End to end, you can track it throughout its life cycle, throughout your systems. As you put packages and package tracking numbers onto the shipment or onto an ASN, you can track that end to end. And one of the neat things is if you've got suppliers who ship early or who don't conform to some of your specs or suggested business processes, you can actually review and approve their planned ASNs before allowing them to print out their PTN label and physically ship. So they send sort of a pre-ASN transaction to you. You can make sure the dates are right, the quantities are right, etc. You can approve it, and then it allows them to print out their labels and execute the shipment. Also, serialization, traceability. It's important in many industries. It's especially important in the more regulated industries like pharmaceuticals or aerospace, energy, food, beverage, etc. There's a lot more restrictive traceability and pedigree laws that are being put in place. Those in those industries know that, particularly in pharmaceuticals. There's these California 2015 laws coming out. So serialization and traceability is a big deal to comply with regulations, and we have some modules in our solutions that are specifically made to help folks with those challenges around serialization and traceability. And finally, just the extended ERP transactions, as I stated earlier. Instead of manually entering things into forms, you can scan and automate that, and it interfaces the data through standard APIs right into your ERP or other systems, which gives you a lot more efficiency and less error. So back to this slide again, this is just the recap, but kind of end to end, we think we already have some solutions that fall in this space of next generation solutions with the collaboration, data collection, etc., OneSCM, Gemini. They do span, plan, order, make, deliver, the whole spectrum for better visibility and control, integrating that internal and external data. We do have flexible implementation options. We'll discuss that a bit later, but you can deploy them by module, EDI, web-based, cloud, on-premise, etc. And again, the configurable nature of the solution, the workflow and such does simplify implementation of that solution. A bit more about us, those of you who are new customers and aren't that familiar with Take Solutions, a little bit of general information. Take does have a strong heritage in supply chain solutions. We were started in 1994 in Austin, Texas. The company was called BPA Systems. The name was changed to Clear Orbit. Many folks that use our data collection solutions know us as Clear Orbit still. Through, like a lot of companies, we had some acquisitions, etc. There was a company called Incom. And then finally, the company in Austin was purchased by a company called Take Solutions, and that's our current name. So we've been around a while. We've been focused in supply chain, manufacturing, distribution functions. We've got a lot of expertise. We've continued to expand and improve our portfolio solutions over the years, focused in the collaboration, data collection, integration spaces. We have a lot of large companies, Fortune 1000 companies that are our clients. Many of them have been customers for more than a decade. We've got small and mid-sized business customers too. Our solutions are really built for today's emerging complex business environments. Some of the key business and technology benefits that we have, we believe we can provide lower total cost of ownership and faster time to value. Several things contribute to that. Over the years, we've developed some excellent project implementation or project management templates that accelerate implementations and accelerate that time to value. Our solutions, as I mentioned earlier, they leverage your existing systems and assets. They don't rip and replace so much. So they're leveraging, connecting existing assets. You can implement quickly. You can get a lot faster ROI. Again, that enterprise application layer helps make that possible. You can implement at the module level, even at the transaction level. It's very flexible depending on customer requirements. Again, that EAI layer gives a lot of flexibility to integrate inside the four walls, outside the four-wall data. Configurable, we've got that workflow engine, process engine to really automate your processes and help you manage by exception. So all of that, we think allows us to be a lot more flexible than the majority of players that are out there in the software solutions market. So we think we're built for that next generation. I'm not going to read through all this slide. Obviously, what others say. This is just a slide to show that, our clients and our company has been recognized for the value creation, the creativity, the solutions that we've brought to the market over the years. These are some recent awards and comments that our clients and ourselves have received. A quick geography slide here. On the left side, you can see from a supply chain perspective, Austin, Texas is where our main supply chain office is headquartered. We call it our Domain Excellence Center. Princeton, New Jersey, we have a large life sciences practice that's centered in Princeton, New Jersey. We've got locations in other parts of the world. Our global headquarters is in Chennai. We're, from a staff perspective, we're 1,100 strong. Responsible growth, about 20% a year, not too fast, not too slow, manageable. We've got a strong footprint in supply chain and life sciences. And as stated, we have a lot of domain knowledge in the space of supply chain, manufacturing, distribution, data collection, integration, collaboration, etc. We do provide software. We also provide services to support and implement that, consulting, etc. And we do have the flexibility to provide, customer support, project management, strategic activities locally out of our Austin office or close to where you are. We can conduct other activities that are more tactical in lower cost regions like Chennai or India. And then on the right there, you can see these are some of our business partners, some of our customers that we've worked with over the years and are still working with today. And that is the end of the slides. We would be, as it says, we'd be happy to answer questions that you have now. I think there's probably been some submitted to Donna. We can also answer questions after the webinar via email. There's phone numbers and such there. And we'd love to have follow-up conversations with you. If these slides have triggered any thoughts or discussions, ideas you have, just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'd love to have a conversation. So I'll pass the lead back over to Donna. Donna?
Thanks, David, and thanks for, I think, a very informative presentation. As I mentioned earlier, we'll stay on the line for about 10 minutes, and David was right. We already do have some questions that have come in. Also, as a reminder, we'll have a recorded version of this presentation available online no later than early next week. So let me take a look here. Okay, here's the first question, David. In your research results, you said that technology was creating noise around solutions. Can you expand on that?
Okay. I guess noise around solutions, the speed that new technologies and new devices are created, continues to increase. There's always something new coming out there. When most new products are in the early stages of their introduction, there's a natural kind of emotional response. Wow, that's really cool. It's new, it must be better, I heard everyone's buying it, using it, etc. It takes some time, to distinguish between, bells and whistles and marketing hype and things that sound really cool and what actually delivers value and has a strong ROI. One example, a lot of companies' first reaction and reaction to the cloud, everything's all about the cloud. And you say, yeah, I need a cloud solution, but often for some companies, after you dig into the details, you may find that due to security concerns or something like that, maybe it's better for your solution to be behind the firewall or on your own network, something different. So bottom line is that there's a lot of new technology out there, there's new information, and it takes time to figure out what's the best solution for your situation that'll deliver the kind of results you're looking for your circumstances. So I don't know, I guess that's a description of the noise.
Okay. The next question. How much integration is really achievable between internal and external systems?
In general, I think a great deal of integration is achievable. I think the key, again, is to figure out what's the right level of integration for each company and each unique set of needs. They often differ. The right level of integration usually depends on what are the current pain points a company's trying to fix or solve, what are the desired results. I know, one example, we had a customer that had a lot of errors at the receiving dock. External data from suppliers and carriers wasn't making it properly into their internal system. It was generating a lot of errors. When you got that data tied together more closely, the errors were, significantly reduced, almost eliminated, and, other things kind of pop up, other rocks in the shallow water pops up as you get some of the bigger things taken care of, and they found they were carrying more inventory than they needed because they were buffering because of some of these issues. So generally speaking, tighter integration costs a bit more than looser integration, but with some of the new tools, technologies that are out there today, integration between internal and external systems, it's often achievable at pretty reasonable costs. It can range from basic email spreadsheet to very structured, high-volume EDI. So hopefully that answers that question somewhat.
Okay. The next question. How does your system integrate planning and sourcing? So this sounds like they're really focused on kind of the front end, on the collaboration part.
Yeah, planning and sourcing, there's many different tools and systems out there that focus on forecasting, planning. They're all different. Some are better than others, like most things. I think one of the common threads is that most actual users of planning, forecasting kind of tools, they probably don't really ever fully trust the MRP data that comes out of it. The 1SEM platform, the solution we have for collaboration in that demand planning space, we have a module that we call DMC, or demand planning, and it helps somewhat in that space. It gets information, it integrates in, it can get information from a company's planning system or tool, brings it in for sharing, and it can pass that information right in, the planned orders, the planned demand, right over to your suppliers and share that with them. There's also capability to allow a human user, before you share that forecast with the supplier, you can modify the data or tweak it if you choose, and you have the right security authorizations and profile. you can share it with them before you send it over. So if you need to make some adjustments based on the standard information that comes out of your MRP. So again, some of the workflow things that you can do, you can configure it either way. But the supplier then, they can use those planned orders, that planned information. They can give you commitments against your planned orders via the web portal. And that continues down the chain from planning into sourcing. Once you've got back their commitments, you can turn those into purchase orders. You can share the purchase orders with your suppliers via the web portal. They can give you acknowledgments back via the web portal. Plus or minus, you can collaborate back and forth before you finalize it. And finally, when you've locked in the PO and confirmed it, you can ship it and stuff too. So that's a description, I guess, of how OneSCM integrates planning and sourcing.
Okay. Let's see. I think the next question is, what forms of B2B communication do you support? So perhaps maybe go a little bit more into detail than what you covered in the presentation.
Yeah, from a B2B perspective, very flexible. One of the main differentiators that we like to put forward in our solutions is the flexibility that we offer for supplier interaction. A lot of it, again, it's because of that EAI layer that I described. You can accept and send communications in different formats. We have customers that use, ANSI EDI format. If you've got, like POs, EDI 850s, EDI 855s for the acknowledgement, ASNs, EDI 856. There's EDIFACT formats that can be used. There's XML formats and standards that are out there. We can use all of those. You can do FTP, email, spreadsheet. You can upload file attachments into OneSCM. So really many forms of communication. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on and try to differentiate ourselves on. The main idea is to make it easier for companies to get more of their total supply chain spend under their management and control by making it easier for your suppliers, all your suppliers that have different levels of technical capability to get online with that portal or share that information with OneSCM.
Okay. It looks like we have time for about one more question, and so I'll ask the last question. And I know that there are a number of other questions that have been submitted, and we will go ahead and get back to you. Either David or I will get back to you with answers offline. But the last question that came in order is a separate mobile delivery platform required, or is it built into the model?
Yeah, I guess, OneSCM versus Gemini, mobile delivery. I guess the short answer is I would say that it's built into the model. Traditionally, wireless usage is more focused on shop floor transactions, scanning, printing, barcode information. It used to be, back in the day, it was new, cutting edge, kind of cool stuff to do, barcode, mobile data transactions on the shop floor. Now, mobility is becoming more of a given throughout the whole end-to-end supply chain, and it's not just on the shop floor. Companies have their own mobile devices. You hear the term out there now on the internet and such, BYOD, bring your own device. So mobility is built into our current OneSCM and our current Gemini platforms to a degree. But, as I mentioned earlier, we're just now in the process of releasing a new mobile platform that kind of takes it to another level with a lot of these new technologies and mobile devices and opportunities that are out there. So we do have another mobile platform. It is built in today, but we're continuing to expand on that with this new platform, and it'll make our platforms even more flexible and easy to configure with mobile devices. So that mobile platform stuff, we consider it built into our products.
All right. Thank you, David, and thank you, everybody, for attending today. This concludes the Q&A portion of our presentation. If we're unable to get to your question, either David or I will contact you directly with a response. If you have any follow-up questions or any ideas or want to ask about more information, please feel free to contact either David or myself. Our information is on the screen. And we look forward to seeing you online or in person again very soon.
Thank you.